Hi guys, the Metal Maniac back again, and in this video I'm going to be doing a review of the album All Shall Fall by Immortal. This album was released in 2010, and it's, I believe, their second newest album. I'm not quite sure about that, but I think it's their second newest. But yeah, so before I get into the songs, I'm going to name off the band members really quick. Abbott on vocals and guitar, Horgith on drums, and Apollyon on bass. I probably butchered those names, I'm sorry if I did. Actually, I'm gonna leave this out right for now. Anyway, but yeah, so the album starts with the title track, All Shall Fall. Honestly, it's probably the weakest song on the album. It's not really that, interesting. It's kind of generic in terms of Immortal songs. And there's this really odd vocal effect sort of near the middle of the song that just sounds awful. It's just like this vocal effect they made it like so where the vocals are kind of like muffled and like sound very odd. And it's not like it's just bad audio in that particular part of the song. They have this weird vocal effect that they lay over the vocals that just sounds very bizarre, and it doesn't really fit the album. It doesn't really fit black metal. Like this doesn't happen that often, at least from what I've listened to. But when you put vocal effects, like audio effects, over vocals in black metal, it just sounds fucking weird and just doesn't fit. But yeah, the first song just is not that good, and honestly is a really weak opening track and a really weak title track as well. But yeah, the opening track, not so good. Luckily, the next track, The Rise of Darkness, is really good. It's sort of a more faster paced song. It honestly kind of in some ways almost feels classic heavy metal inspired, with the riffing and just the overall feel of the, just the feel that the guitars give off. It's very, it's very subtle, but I kind of get that classic heavy metal feel vibe somewhat with, just the instrumentation, and especially with the first part of the song. But yeah, it's a really great song. Very catchy guitar riff. And just great vocals. Overall, very good song. The third song, another not so good song. The third song is Hordes of War. Just like with All Shall Fall, it's kind of a generic Immortal song. Honestly, it just doesn't stand out in any way. Luckily, it doesn't have weird vocal effects like All Shall Fall, but it's just another kind of generic and forgettable song. But yeah, luckily the album picks up again with the fourth song. Norden on Fire is my favorite song on the album. It's just so epic, grand scale, and just has a really sort of cool vibe to it. I don't know how to describe it, but it has a cool vibe to it overall. It feels like a song that would actually be on like the album after this, Northern Chaos Gods. It feels like a song that would be on that album. Just the overall feel of it. I don't really quite know how to properly explain it, but it feels like a song from that album, and it just is a really good song. The cool vibe, great instrumentation, and again great vocals. But at least from what I've heard, Immortal has always had great vocals. At least from the two albums I've heard so far. But yeah, just a really good song, and my favorite song on the album. The fifth song is called Arctic Swarm, another really good song. This one, for the most part, feels like an instrumental. It doesn't have quite the lyrics, it doesn't have quite the vocals as most of the songs. It's kind of, it has vocals, but it's sort of sparse in this song. But I think that's what really, gives this particular song its strength, is that even though it has vocals, there are parts of it that feel like a really cool instrumental. But yeah, just another great song. The 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, the sixth song is called Mount North. This one's pretty good. I think this song. I think this song in particular. I think it would have been better as the opening track, honestly, because it does sound like a pretty cool song that does feel like it should have been the opening track. It's not as epic sounding as some others, but it does have, that, urgency to it. Like, it's a very, not fast-paced, not epic song, but it grabs your attention, if that, for lack of a better, explanation. But yeah, just another great song. And then the final track, Unearthly Kingdom, another great song, and what a great closing track. It just feels perfect as a closing track. It has the epic nature of some of the other songs, but it has also sort of a feel of a finale kind of epic to it. It just feels right for the end of the album. Yeah, it's a great album closer. But yeah, those are the songs. So the artwork, I'm gonna mention the art, because the artwork is pretty interesting. The artwork is pretty cool. It's kind of confusing, though. Like, at first glance, it looks like two big, gigantic metal sort of doors to some kind of fortress. But it's kind of confusing because, like, just like the way the artwork is on the bottom compared to the rest, it kind of feels like up here it looks like a door, but for some reason it looks like just like background. So I don't know if this is supposed to be a door, or just some, I don't know. It's kind of confusing in terms of, just the textures compared to the, everything up top. But it is a pretty cool and very awesome abstract sort of artwork. I love the frozen look of it too. Like it feels like it would be like some doors to some kind of sort of northern fortress of some kind. It looks really cool. And then also you have the Immortal logo there. And then actually the inside also has artwork to it, and I think it's better than the artwork on the front. Look at this. There's this just beautiful illustration on the inside of, I guess what is supposed to be Mount North, from that one song on the album. It looks really cool. And then you have, like, the mountain in the center, but you also have, like, a sort of, wilderness. I don't know if you could see it. You have some wilderness there, and then like a solar or lunar eclipse of some kind up top there. It looks really, really cool. And then also you have the pamphlet with the lyrics, as well as the pictures of the band members. But yeah. So overall, for the most part, it's a very good album. It does have some weak points here and there, but I think the good outshines the bad in this album. There's just so much good to it that it doesn't matter that this album has some weak points here and there. I think this album, for the most part, really shines, especially with the second half of the album. But yeah, I'm gonna give this a 7 out of 10. Again, very good, especially with the second half. I do really enjoy this album for the most part. Let me get this pamphlet back in here really quick. Oh, there we go. But yeah, it's a 7 out of 10. Again, for the most part, very, very good, especially the second half. But yeah, so that's it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you all next time.